Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you my each way Lucky 15 predictions for tomorrow's horse racing here in the UK. Just a quick reflection on how today's selections ran. Pretty good day today. We had a good double. The first one of those was Khalidi with Frankie Dettori. That was a great ride by him. The horse was always there throughout the race. It was always in contention, and it came on, and Frankie put on the burners towards the end of the race, and it came home nicely for us at a good price. Yeah, I think it ended up coming in at 7-2, but earlier when I backed it, it was 11 for 2. So yeah, that was a good price there. The other horse that won for us today was a horse called the Yank at Ludlow. Again, this one came in at 11-2, so we had a good double there. That was Tom Scudamore and David Bridgewater. That was probably the most consistent performer throughout the whole race. It had no problem jumping. It was good and fluent throughout. The other horses in that race were pretty dodgy jumpers, and they just never looked like they wanted to be there today. And the Yankee just was consistent and solid, and came in at 11-2, so that wasn't bad. Other horses that ran were Caulfield's Venture at Kempton. He was prominent for some of the race, but he just didn't quite have enough today. But that was his first race for quite a while, and he wasn't beating a million miles out, so that could definitely be a horse to watch out over the next month or two if Emma Lavelle decides to send that horse out. And the other horse that ran was Dancing to the Light. It ran its race. It led for quite a fair way of the race, but he kind of needed a little bit further up in trip. But he was worth a gamble, I thought, and a bit unlucky not to place. But hey ho, not a bad day today. But I'm going to be picking some selections for tomorrow's horse racing action here in the UK. It'll be an each way one tomorrow, as there's quite a few good race meetings on tomorrow. We've got a good one on at Newmarket, also at Cheltenham as well. There'll be 2 days of Cheltenham, and tomorrow's the first day of Cheltenham, so that's good. We've also got a few others around. We've got one at Beverley, which is starting off their season on the flat turf, and also we've got Sedgefield and Wolverhampton later on in the evening. But our first each way Lucky 15 prediction runs at Cheltenham tomorrow in the 3:15, and this horse is called Caspar King. Now, Caspar King is a bit of a more of a long shot in the market at the moment. He's currently around 16-1 with bookmakers, and this horse is trained by Philip Hobbs, who's a really good trainer, and will be ridden by the champion jockey Richard Johnson. Now, the last time this horse ran was at Kempton in a race that I actually went and saw. It came ninth that day, and even though it wasn't a million miles away, it just never got into the race that day, and was beaten by a horse that is currently the favourite for this race tomorrow, Divine Spear, who we did actually back that day. Divine Spear that day came second, and but the reason I think tomorrow the form might be reversed is because Caspar King has got a pretty good form on the back of it, because before the run at Kempton, it actually had won its 2 previous starts, and it's going to be racing off the same mark that it last won off, and it beat some pretty decent horses in those 2 races. A few of those horses have gone on to run well a few places, and I think 1 or 2 of them have gone on to win, so that's quite promising form. And at 16-1, I definitely think he's worth a bet with all those good jockey and trainer combinations. And I think as well, also, if you actually look at where Caspar King won those races, the races were at Fontwell and Exeter, which are a bit more demanding. They've got a few hills and that, whereas Kempton is more of a galloping track, and I think Caspar King is a bit more better at more testing tracks, whereas Divine Spear, his last 2 run, who's the current favourite, ran at Kempton and Ascot, which are good galloping tracks. So I definitely think Caspar King could have a chance tomorrow, especially at the prices. So that's who we're backing as our first horse in our each way Lucky 15 for tomorrow in the 3:15 at Cheltenham. Our second prediction for our each way Lucky 15 tomorrow sees us go to the Nell Gwyn Stakes, which is the 335 at Newmarket. Now the horse we're going for here is of course called Daban, who is from the John Gosden yard, and this horse will be ridden by Frankie Dettori. As we said earlier, they gave us a win with Khalidi, which was a really good performance. Now we've only seen this horse once, Daban, and that was a few months ago, towards the end of last year at Kempton in the maiden, but it won it very well. It was in the race and was always in contention, and then towards the line, the last furlong, it came good and led really easily and showed a good turn of pace. And the jockey that day, I think it was Robert Haviland, didn't really have to do much to win the race. So this horse has definitely got a lot of ability from that race, and a few of the horses from that maiden as well have gone on to achieve okay starts in their career. So form's not too bad, and with the great man on board, that's Frankie Dettori, who always gets the most out of his horses and tries to get them in contention. I definitely think at 10-1 currently in the market, he's a good shout. But there's a few horses definitely that will be in the mix for that race tomorrow. There's quite a few Aidan O'Brien horses that look not bad, and also as well the market is kind of got a lot of horses round about that 5 to even 16-1 mark that you could all argue have a good chance. But that's going to be my pick tomorrow, Daban, as our second pick in our each way lucky 15. Our third pick tomorrow in our each way lucky 15 sees us go to the 350 at Cheltenham with a horse called Millicent Silver. Now Millicent Silver is a really consistent type. It's a good staying horse, and it's trained by Nigel Twiston Davis and will be ridden by one of his conditional jockeys, Jamie Bargery. He'll be able to use his £3 claim for this race, but Millicent Silver has, as we say, been very consistent of late. Her last 3 runs have been in places. She's had 2/3 in a second and hasn't been beaten by miles. And also as well, the handicapper has dropped it a couple of pounds over those runs, so that's always good for the horse. And also as well, with Cheltenham being a testing track and this horse being a stayer, you definitely think that this horse has got a good chance tomorrow to run a good race. And currently 9 or 10-1 with a lot of bookmakers at the moment. It's definitely worth a punt at those kind of odds. So that's who we're going for tomorrow as our third pick in our each way lucky 15, Millicent Silver. Our last pick tomorrow in our each way lucky 15 sees us go to the 425 at Cheltenham with a horse called Iora Glas. This is trained by Fergal O'Brien, will be ridden by Paddy Brennan. This jockey and trainer combination is normally really good for punters. Paddy Brennan has ridden a lot of winners for Fergal O'Brien this season. Iora Glas made her first run for a few months, a few weeks ago at Plumpton, and even though it came out of 8 out of 9 in that race, that wasn't actually a bad performance considering it was its first run back in a while. The trainer Fergal O'Brien had shortened this horse in trip when ideally it probably wants further, and it's back up in trip tomorrow up to 3 miles, so that's encouraging. Also the handicapper as well has knocked this horse down £6, so that's also pretty good. But Iora Glas has been a consistent horse. Towards the end of last year it was running good races, had a few places here and there, and also it's won a few races last year as well earlier in the year, which were actually kind of about in the April-May time. So it tells you that this horse might like this time of year, and he likes the ground and that. So a lot of positives with this horse, and I definitely think he's worth a punt tomorrow, especially as he's been given a good chance by the handicapper. So that's who we're going for in our lucky last tomorrow in our each way lucky 15. But if you've done alright today in today's horse racing, let us know in the comments box below. If you're looking forward to Cheltenham and the Newmarket meetings tomorrow or any other horse racing, let us know in the comments box below. Leave your predictions in there as well. Gamble responsibly, and I'll see you soon.